This week, NBR is hoping to interview the main candidates for Mayor of Auckland in the upcoming vote happening in October. Today, joining me in the studio is Viv Beck, who is currently sitting at third in the polling. Viv, thanks for coming in. Tell us, what is your campaign offering the business community?
Well, over the last several months, I've been out talking to people about the big issues on their minds, and my campaign is focusing on those issues. So, unsurprisingly, one is transport and congestion.
Yes.
So that's a big one that's affecting a lot of people, including business. Crime is another one right now. Infrastructure to support growth. And the other main one is the accountability and efficiency of Auckland Council and the council group. So those are the issues that have come up everywhere I've gone. So that's effectively the foundational focus of my campaign.
Right. I mean, heart of the city, I would have thought might have been one of your focuses, and I guess it touches on all those areas you've just talked about. But what are people telling you in the central city?
Well, in some ways, what I'm hearing is people are looking for me to be beyond the central city, which is why I've taken so much time to go out and meet so many different people, thousands of people from the top of the north to the bottom of the south of the region, because I've been very familiar with the issues in the central city. So that is really, right now, as with many businesses, staffing is a big issue, and also bringing people back to the central city. So the things that I'm focusing on will actually help the central city as well, because a lot of the issues are around access, crime and safety, the impact of council decision making on business has been a big one. In fact, I've stood up on a number of issues that relate to council decisions that have affected central city businesses, and also making sure that we have got a planned, sensible approach to development, because we've been pretty badly hit by concurrent projects, and once places are transformed, it's great, it does have a big toll while it's happening.
I mean, some of your colleagues who are also running for mayor are saying things like the centre city is no longer going to be the heart of the city, that, these suburban areas which have picked up during COVID, so that the structure of the city will look different. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a bit difficult to know how COVID is exactly going to endure in the longer term. I think there are changes, and I think the working from home does look to be enduring, although talking to lots of big employers, people can see the benefit of having people back. So there's definitely been a move in recent months to encourage people back, but it does seem to be settling on a bit of a hybrid, which does have a big impact on travel patterns and on businesses located in the central city. So I think there will be enduring change, but what we're also seeing internationally is that having a central area that provides for civic, social, cultural, educational, as well as commercial and social activity is still going to be relevant. If you think about tourists coming here in future, this is a place they will likely come and then spread out from. So I think it will change, but I still feel very confident in the longer term future. I think we've got some immediate issues, but the medium to longer term is looking brighter. And if you think about the area around the Midtown, which has got some challenges at the moment, around the middle area of Queen Street, once we get the City Rail link open, the New Zealand International Convention Centre open, that area will really take off again. And there's quite a lot of public and private sector investment in that area now, which is recognising those opportunities ahead. So I think we'll continue to see the transformation of the central city area. It has been very hard hit by COVID, and we've advocated strongly on all of the areas that we're talking about today. And it is slowly but surely starting to come back, but still in the short-term challenges.
When you say it will come back, will the vibe of it be different? I mean, if you walk through there at the moment, there are a lot of homeless people on the streets. There's, obviously crime happening right on Queen Street in front of other people.
Yeah, so the crime and antisocial behaviour has been a concern, and particularly during COVID, we could see it going down when there was a lockdown, but the trend overall was up. And we actually joined up with some other business associations because we were really worried about that and the effect it would have if it got worse. And unfortunately, so we lobbied really hard to get stronger police presence, better management of emergency housing, mental health and addiction services. And with the police presence, we did want to see a downtown police station.
Yeah.
So all of that lobbying happened throughout COVID. It was quite, as I say, joined up with other business associations that were also being impacted by issues like that. We have had some response from government. It was unfortunately much later than we hoped, because we hoped it could be averted before it got to the level it's at now. But we have now had a response back that the police levels will increase, because we wanted to see it based on population growth. I still think it's too low. They're talking about one per 480 people. Yeah. Australia's a lot less than that. So I think there's a way to go. And in fact, some of the policies I've got in the mayoral campaign are picking up on some of the issues that we're still seeing, because it's really important that our city, including our central city, is welcoming, clean, safe and accessible. And those are some of the biggest challenges we've got right now.
So let's talk about your transport ideas. You're talking, or have you mentioned scrapping the light rail?
Yes. Yep. What I want to see is there's a lot of money, and we've seen the City Rail Link in terms of the cost. The cost increase is still coming, and the delays. It's been hugely disruptive. We know that it will bring benefits, but that's still a number of years away. With the light rail, I mean, if you could click your fingers and have it, you can see that it would have benefit. But the reality is it's a lot of money and likely to be higher for one part of the city. Now, what I want to see is more coverage, rapid transit for more people faster and at less cost. So I've proposed that we go back to a rapid bus network, which starts with the northwest, which is has been heavily neglected. Lots of growth up there. It's had, the investment has not kept up with that growth, and that was top of the list before light rail went on the radar in 2017. So I'm saying let's get that back on the list, so we make that happen within the next decade. Let's get Botany to airport, because there's a lot of jobs around that area, so complete that loop, make improvements to the Northern Busway and improvements through the Isthmus. So effectively providing the service that the light rail would offer, but using rapid bus, which is a lot cheaper. Now, the information we have is that our demand, the buses will suffice in that time frame. It also gives us flexibility to see what happens as a result of COVID in terms of demand patterns over that period. What happens with technology? Because the reality is many of us might be in autonomous e-vehicles at that stage, and you could potentially then use that space for other modes. So I think it gives us more flexibility, but the aim is to say on routes that really need rapid transit, let's get on with it and provide more services faster to more people.
In your plan, you didn't really talk a lot, I didn't think, about cycling and pedestrianisation. Why is that?
Well, I think cycling is it's healthy, it gets emissions down, it is important. What I think we need to do, though, is be realistic about how and where we use cycle lanes and make sure that it's less cost. Because one of the some of the feedback I get, in fact I've got it quite consistently in the places I've been, is that when you're talking about quite disruptive cycle lanes, that is affecting business, and business has obviously been badly affected through COVID. So I'm saying we should be supportive of cycling, particularly in greenfields where you're building from scratch and you can have lovely cycle lanes that aren't actually affecting arterial routes. But I think we do have to be careful how we plan cycleways, and we do need to listen to community and business input, and I just think it needs to be done at less cost. So I'm not saying scrap the 300 million that's in there now. I'm saying just let's try and do it in a more cost-effective, pragmatic way.
What makes a good mayor?
I think a mayor has to be the ultimate champion for our region. Somebody who's prepared to be there through thick and thin. Somebody who, for example, through COVID, I felt was important, was standing up for the needs of the city, for our businesses and communities. Someone who really cares about the people and the different groups that we've got out there, not just some. Somebody who cares about all the groups and wants to understand different perspectives to bring into really good decisions that people respect. And I think a lot of that comes down to how you work with the councillors to make those decisions. Not everybody will like every decision, but they have to respect the way the decision is made. And I don't think that's the case now, based on the feedback I'm getting. We need to have someone who can drive high performance through the Auckland Council and those CCOs, and someone who will work constructively with government, but also stand up when you need to. You have to be prepared to stand up for what you need. I've done that over the City Rail Link. I've been to Parliament. I've presented to select committees. It is not good enough the way that project has been managed. I still stand by that, and I would continue to stand up for those people. So a mayor has to be able to stand up for the region and be the ultimate champion.
Viv Beck, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.